What I found to be the most impactful part of being Carleton Leader is giving the opportunity to see the breadth of expertise and people across campus that all work towards, I guess, a common goal of education and research. How much effort across the campus is put into seeing that graduate student or undergraduate student walk across the stage. That was a real eye-opening experience for me.
It really brings to your awareness the importance of collaboration and sort of the power of collaboration. That has really broadened awareness moving forward for me.
Realizing that we need to work together, we need to collaborate to effect change. I really feel that I can have an influence. I can move my ideas forward, and I know how to reach out to people to actually make things happen.
In terms of the experience and the modules themselves, I found one in particular impactful to me, which had to do with coaching. It became obvious to me during that session that I don't coach. I just tell people what to do. And I went away that day from Carleton Leader, and I actually used it that day, and I consciously think of it ever since.
It provided the skills and ability to look at one's situation in a different light. We had things like difficult conversations. Well, no one wants a difficult conversation, so why would you possibly want to put yourself into that position? But as a matter of fact, it's a skill that you need to develop, and it's good to have it because it allows you to approach conversations in a different manner. And it's not just about talking, it's about listening and taking in what they're trying to communicate.
I never got trained how to be a professor except how to do my research. And this is a whole different way of learning on how to manage my position. I had been the undergraduate chair before I went through Carleton Leader, and then I was the undergraduate chair after I finished Carleton Leader. And the way in which I approached that position was completely different. Before Carleton Leader, it was more like managing, kind of like, okay, this I need to sign, this I need to do. After Carleton Leader was like, how can we make our program better for our students? And having that lens of looking at everything through that leadership and collective leadership has had huge consequences.
I had a problem that I could not solve, and I found out that several people before me had tried to solve the same problem with no success. And I was thinking to myself, I know that this person that I met at Carleton Leader would be able to help me solve this problem. And I picked up the phone and I chatted with him, and sure enough, he did. So there was this problem that had gone literally unsolved for 9 years, and that had impacted an employee for 9 years that various managers could not solve. And I was about to be one of them. So for me, that network has been the biggest thing for me.
Different people can lead in different ways. And so I try to look at those and look at my leadership style and how I might contribute to the university in that regard. One of the other important things that I took away is that we can be leaders at every level.
You don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one type or one style of leadership, and I think initially when we did that exercise, we were all very much set on, this is who I am, this is how I handle these things. Thinking about, who you're dealing with, what the situation is.
One of the interesting things about Carleton Leader was sort of highlighting that leadership can exist not just within yourself, but sort of recognizing it amongst others. Yeah. And I thought that was something I really took away, to just think about the ways in which I can become a leader, but also how are the ways in which I can harness leadership in other people. Leadership as a community effort was a huge takeaway.
Carleton Leader has changed my perspective on what leading is. It gave me a chance to sort of look at leading from whatever position you happen to be in, whether that was leading a team, leading a project, or even just affecting the way that people make decisions or do things.
I think the fact that that leadership isn't tied to a job title is important in service delivery. I want all of our staff to be comfortable in making a good decision for the end person and being comfortable with taking the leadership when it's required.
It changed my perspective internally in my own sort of understanding of myself and my own sort of strengths and my own limitations. I think that was a really important part of what I got out of Carleton Leader.
I had never really thought of myself as a leader before. Even after a year in a leadership role, I had not really embraced my status as a leader. But participating in Carleton Leader really showed me that leadership is something that you do, it's not who you are. I feel less anxious, I feel less self-conscious. We have all reinforced for each other that no one is perfect, that it's a process of constant growth and continuous development. It really introduced me to a community at Carleton that I had never really known was out there.
Going through the experience with colleagues at Carleton is a big advantage rather than going on a one-day seminar to be a leader or to learn or read a book on leadership skills. Because you get to see how other people operate. It really is an interesting dynamic.
It's nothing but positive in terms of the connections you make and the relationships you form with individuals whose paths you never would have crossed.
The impact is long to come. A sense of belonging to the Carleton community. I think that's something I will really take away from Carleton Leader.